Hi there, food enthusiasts. Welcome again. My name is Chris Rachkowski, your host today for the FutureFoodCast. We're here talking with thought leaders in today's food industry, discussing the trends and technology that will shape the future of food. Very excited today to be speaking with Jayan Jacob Meledom, the founder of SacNutri and also director of FQLabs. Welcome to the program today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here.
So I've had the good pleasure and opportunity to speak with you a little bit before this, so learned a lot about you, but I think it'd be really interesting for our audience to know a bit of your origin story. What were you doing before you founded SacNutri, and what motivated you to be focusing on that particular business, as well as your activities in the FQLabs?
Yeah, I did my engineering in computer science. That was my background. Then after that, I worked in some software companies, basically focused on software development for banks as well as some healthcare companies. And my family is into a food quality assessment and monitoring company, which is a FQLab and Research Center for 35 years. And I had some interest on that particular subject because my family always discuss about all these quality things, how we need to take care of all this stuff. As well as I also have my ancestors into agriculture and all those things. So I always have an interest for that. So that's the reason why I shifted my focus from software development to something that is focused more on agriculture, farming, and processing.
Well, you, for yourself and your family, certainly have a long history in this space, and therefore a lot of expertise. I think it'd be really interesting to learn now about a little bit more about the company that you founded, SacNutri, and key products that you are providing with that company.
SacNutri is basically focused on creating nutraceutical dietary supplements. So during this pandemic period, we had a lot of inquiries from different parts of the world where we can focus more on nutraceutical advantages of turmeric. So how we can extract curcumin and how it can improve the infection response mechanism, boosting immunology activity and contributing to reducing the impacts of autoimmune disorders, which is one factor that we have seen during this COVID. And I have a couple of friends as well as my relatives also affected with COVID during the last year, 2019. I suggested them to have these curcumin-based products, including the tablets that we created. So we advised them to have a look at those, and they took all those products as a part of the dietary supplements, and the results were amazing. And this is one reason why we started research and development unit inside the company, where we started developing different products, which is based on curcumin. And that was one thing that we did during the past 2 years.
Excellent. Well, we talk about a lot of new and interesting technologies on this podcast, and sometimes there's some large words that get thrown around that maybe not everybody's familiar with. And maybe can you give us a bit of just an introduction to what is really meant by the word nutraceuticals, and just so that our audience is up to speed with your level of expertise?
Yeah, nutraceuticals is something that play a major channel between the food and pharmaceuticals. Actually, it is neither food, neither pharmaceuticals.
Right.
So the major advantage with the nutraceuticals, for example, one thing I can give about the curcumin is we have a formula we have developed that which is under the which is given for the patent right now, which is ongoing process. But what we did was a study based on curcumin that removes the brain damaging plague, which is called as a plagues, which is something we try to remove using curcumin. Has got a certain property like that which removes these plagues by almost 40%. Nutraceuticals is something which I can say that it's a preventive mechanism, or you can say that helps to improve the lifestyle or health to a certain extent. I'm not saying it cannot be regarded as a medicine or it cannot be regarded as a food. But it's like a preventive mechanism that helps the body to build a preventive mechanism which helps to fight certain diseases or certain disorders.
Well, turmeric's a very exciting, we might say, functional food, and obviously it's been a part of menus of food products in certain parts of the world for a long time. But I would say in the recent couple decades, it's been a very interesting product in North America and in Europe as well. Not that it's new, but it has become well known due to, I think, some of the research that you're talking about that you've also done yourself, for its nutraceutical properties, its beneficial properties, and the curcumin being a key component of delivering those benefits. So really interesting new product, relatively new product here in North America. And maybe there's always some interest in where is the product coming from? What's the origin story of the product itself? And maybe tell us a bit more about how you're sourcing the raw material and how you're taking steps to make sure that you're getting the best possible materials for your products.
This company is based in the southern part of India, where this is a land which is regarded as a land of spices. The name of that state is Kerala. The products that we produce is locally sourced. Raw materials for that the product is locally sourced, because we believe if you want to make a good product, you should know where the raw material is coming from. Mm-hmm. And you have to ensure not only the quality, how it is processed, how it is stored, what the kind of soil, whether the soil is contaminated, and whether they are spraying any pesticides. All those things have to be identified. So the products the raw materials that we use is only locally sourced, where we can go audit ourselves and make sure the raw material that we source is aligned with our principles, our vision, and it should reflect the product. The consumers who are taking that product should have a traceability to know, and they should also know from where the product is sourced, and they should identify that. So that is the broader vision that we have, and that's the only reason why we are locally sourcing right now. But when we are getting more orders and when we need to increase the productivity, definitely we have to depend upon other sources or other origins. So we can see that a lot of products is coming from China as well. And there are other parts of the world that are producing turmeric right now, like Asian countries like you can say Vietnam or anywhere else in Asia. Currently, we are setting up our offices on all those regions where our person will be there who can go to the farms and ensure this. Not for one time, it should be a regular monitoring. So that's what we are planning right now, because we have to meet the requirements or the growing demands for the product.
Well, it's great to see the dedication and focus that you and your company has on quality of the raw materials through the supply chain. I imagine a fair amount of that is informed by your experience also with FQLabs. We're specifically focused on food quality. But how does your experience with FQLabs, I guess, support and help your ability to make sure that the products you're sourcing are of suitable quality for your customers?
FQLab's main activity is like inspecting the cargo before it is getting shipped out, and we take samples from those shipment lots, and that will be analyzed in the laboratory, aligned with the specifications where the product is getting shipped out, and also the buyers will be having their own specifications. So that will be also analyzed, and we ensure that the product they wanted is aligned with their specifications as their requirements as well. So that's exactly what FQLab is doing. But during my tenure in FQLab, we have worked with different commodities, including cashews, different types of foods. We work with hotels, hospitals, a lot of businesses that we have worked with. And that experience really helped me to understand different consumers. That's one thing. And different buyers, how the buyers have been changed on from last year to this year. There is a transition that is happening, because food industry is a fast-growing industry, and the regulations have gone also. A lot of new regulations have been introduced. New technologies need to be introduced for the testing the products as well. So that experience really helped me to focus more on quality than anything else, because I have seen that certain shippers or certain manufacturers, when they never focused on their quality, they couldn't survive for 5 years. They will get closed down before that, because the customer will only remember a product if you give them the right quality, or else I'm sure the purchase is only for the one time. They will never come back to you and purchase another product from you. So quality is utmost important in food business.
Yes. And again, your longtime experience sort of assuring food quality and testing for food quality is certainly a great benefit for this particular product. And that's, that passion from your side is important. But of course, you're looking to communicate that also to the consumers of this, whether it's businesses that are buying for you or even end consumers. And how are you helping them to understand the quality that you're building into the raw material of the product, as well as how you're processing it through, whether it's through social media or other technology mechanisms to communicate that, high level of performance that your product is delivering?
That's a good question. So whatever you do, if you are not communicating it to your consumer in the right way, they will not understand the quality of the product. That's for sure. The customer is always the king for any food manufacturer. So the traceability is one factor that we always ensure that is properly communicated to the consumer in whatever methods that is possible. That's one thing. The second thing, the packaging itself will contain what are the process that we follow. That's one thing. The second thing is they can also scan, there will be a QR code in the package where they can scan and find out how this particular product is processed and what are the certificates available for the manufacturing unit of this particular product. So they can ensure, for example, if we have a HACCP or FSMS implemented in a particular manufacturing facility, then they'll be able to know that we are following a particular process, and definitely that will really help to enhance the quality of the product. So, and also like what you said, we are also focusing on digital marketing because these days,
I think people almost live their lives by social media these days.
And young customers, because you can see that the new customers, the young customers, if you want to target them, definitely you have to be on the social media. So we are also focused on that, and we are trying our best to get into that using Instagram. And if, for example, certain products, we create a kind of recipe kind of interaction with the chefs or something like that. And also the feedback mechanism we are using, actually, if there is a feedback from a particular customer and how that particular product helped him, we use that in the social media. Look, this particular customer is benefited from this product through this way, and you can have a look at it like that. The genuine reviews and feedbacks, that will be also digitally marketed for sure.
Yeah, it's so important today that companies are engaging at that level. I think it's almost replaced or certainly superseded a lot of the more traditional marketing channels out there. And we've talked a lot about your product of curcumin derived from turmeric, and really exciting product all by itself. Maybe we talk a little bit more about one or two other products that your company is providing.
Another product that we are following is we are providing right now is dried jackfruit. Because we have seen a lot of people who are taking insulin are right now taking dried jackfruit in their diet, and they can control the insulin dosage, which is like a big advantage for those diabetic patients, because you can see in India, the number of diabetic patients is growing up tremendously because there is a shift from, junk food to, a lot of dietary food, health foods are right now it's there. But there is still a lot of people are depending upon the fast food, which is one reason why the diabetes numbers are going up tremendously because of eating habits or lifestyle. Because work from home has also contributed to that.
I was just going to comment that, jackfruit is, we're starting to see jackfruit more on the shelves of, I would say, traditional food stores in North America. But probably 10 or even just 10 years ago, it was really an unusual product to see on the shelves in any form. Of course, quite common in various parts of Asia, India, etc. An amazing product, and I've enjoyed it in my travels. But tell me a little bit, there's all sorts of things that can be done with jackfruit. Tell us more specifically about what your products are and how it's supporting the health of, for example, the people that you're working with that may have issues with diabetes and controlling blood sugar.
We are actually producing the dried jackfruit powder, which can be added to any food that you take, even to a burger, or even to, for example, the locally made food like chapatis or whatever it is. you can add to that. So that will increase the fiber content of that. So it helps in digestion. That's one thing. And it has got a low GI. For example, the dry jackfruit powder can be used anywhere. So there is no restriction. Whatever food you intake, you can add a small quantity to that. So that serves the purpose. So you don't have to make a different meal for consuming the jackfruit.
What do you see, I guess, or what are you seeing as the key export markets for jackfruit powder? As we were already discussing in social media and marketing, a fair amount of education has to be put into this because to break into new markets, not only with a new product, but even for some people, a new base component of that product. How are you looking to launch this powdered jackfruit product into new markets globally?
We are currently focused. Indian market has been really good during all these years, and we are focusing on the Indian market. That's one area that we are. Indian market is something which is very important for us. At the same time, we are getting a lot of interest from the Middle East market as well, Middle East market as well, and also in US. So the next focus will be in Australia and in Europe. That will be the next focus. Like what you said, in social media and all over the web, they are doing a lot of marketing for jackfruit right now. So it is easy for us to convince, because first of all, if you want to sell some product, you need to create an awareness among the consumers. So that part is already taken care of by the social media, as well as a lot of universities have already created reports, case studies based on dried jackfruit powder. So that is really helping us in getting into new markets and new distributors. So the only thing that we are currently doing is creating new recipes, new products using jackfruit powder, and launch it in different markets. Depends upon the kind of flavors those markets is having. Because for any food, if you want to take, you should taste good, and that should align with the people. For example, India, we love chili, right? So it's more spice-oriented product. But in Europe, we can see that they don't take that much spice, moderate quantity. So that's what we are focusing on. We are doing a research on what are the flavors which is doing good in the Europe market as well as in Australia and US, and creating products based on that with jackfruit as well as turmeric powder.
Well, let's think about, I'm actually very curious about the jackfruit powder product. Maybe because I've had more experience with turmeric and some understanding there, but maybe what can we learn from your successes in the Indian market about the types of other food products that have been successful in adding jackfruit powder into it? Why has it been successful in those products, and how are people reacting to that?
Rather than reinventing and creating a new product, the disruption that we did was, okay, add this powder to whatever meal that you're creating.
Okay.
That can convert that into, for example, if you add jackfruit, dry jackfruit powder into a burger, you can make a healthy burger. So you can turn a junk food into healthy food. And that is the concept that we are working on. So that is how we penetrate the Indian market. Because we don't want to create a new product and offer the customer, create an awareness on that and ask them to take it. Rather than what we did was how the products which is consumed on a daily basis by the consumer, how we can incorporate jackfruit into that and offer them. So there is no much taste difference is there, but the advantages that we are focused on will help them to take it on a regular basis. So for example, if I can take a burger, if it's a healthy burger, if I like a burger, then that creates a lot of interest among the consumer. Because the shift is not easy, right? If you like something, you don't want to shift. You don't want to give that food away, right? Anyways, you will like the product. So how we are going to do is trying to convert that into a healthy food.
Globally, we see I would know if I'd call it a shift, but a lot of new interest in what we're creatively calling plant-based diets. Just a lot of people reducing meat intake or even shifting completely to being vegetarian or vegan. That sounds like it would be a great I guess, co-marketing area for the jackfruit powder. Do you see opportunities in the plant-based diets for people, plant-based products, for adding jackfruit powder and improving the quality of the product in terms of its nutritional performance?
Definitely. Like what you said, people are turning to vegans these days, and I've seen that shift. And even plant-based meat is also available right now, which tastes almost like a meat, right? So those shift is happening worldwide because we are more concerned about the environment as well. So adding jackfruit to that will definitely enhance the nutritional values or nutritional profile. So that will help, even though it is a nutritious product, it will enhance the nutritional value.
Yeah.
And also
I was going to say, these days we see in Europe and North America a lot of interest in localization of food supply, et cetera. But there's been so much benefit of global food supply in terms of being able to enjoy foods from around the world. So I don't think that's certainly it's not going to end. We'll continue to have good global food supply chains. What might you predict, say, for 3 to 5 years from now in the jackfruit powder space? Where do you see this product growing, and what types of products do you see it being most successful in outside of your core market in India, maybe in the Middle East, Australia, North America? Where do you see people consuming this product being the primary interest area?
We see that there is a lot of interest that is already generated. At the same time, we wanted to create certain new products in the market, including using jackfruit. For example, in Middle East, you can see the cuckoos is one major food, and they consume that with meat and all those things. So we are finding out those interest in those markets and create an alternative for those regularly consumed foodstuffs in Middle East and in US. So that's what we are majorly focused on. There is a shift that is happening all over the world, which will help people to understand the values and nutritional values of jackfruit and create products aligned with that.
Excellent. Well, I, for one, have learned a fair amount about not only your success in the quality control that you're providing with the curcumin and turmeric, but really a new product opportunity in the jackfruit powder. I'm looking forward to seeing that type of product here. We see other types of jackfruit products as sort of meat substitutes, et cetera, but it's really been presented more of just a substitute for meat and prepared in certain ways, versus as you're providing a product that really has some clear nutritional benefits that can be added in to, as you said, existing local sort of popular food items. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that.
Thank you.
Can you talk more about other technologies such as blockchain and AI and how that might be items that you're weaving into your business?
So artificial intelligence is something that we are always interested about, on how that can change food processing on a positive way. So the areas that we are trying to implement artificial intelligence or AI is for sorting packages and products. Recently, we had a discussion with one of the companies in Russia where they use the mobile cameras to identify the defects of a particular food product. So that was an early stage. So we are actually working with this company in Russia where we can sort products or sort raw materials based on color, texture, and all the things which can capture using the camera. So this is one thing that we are working on these days because we believe this is going to help us in long run, where we can bring down the error percentage in identifying the defects. The second thing that why we want to focus on AI is to ensure food safety compliance. Because recently, since my background is also from an inspection company, we have seen a shipment that is shipped to US, and when they opened that shipment, they found a glass broken. Even though this company has got a very defined glass policy, but still it got into that. How that happened? Because it missed the physical inspection there is a failure in the mechanism. So I guess with the implementation of AI-enabled cameras, this can be brought down to nil. This will not happen.
It's a great combination, of utilizing AI and your expertise in food quality and safety and inspection. It's a really perfect marriage of technologies and experience there. But you also mentioned, or I guess have some interest in blockchain and potentially for food traceability and tracking. Can you tell us a little bit more about that as well?
Yes, we are actually actively working to ensure the critical information that is given to the buyer is safe and comply with various regulations, right? And this will also improve the credibility and the public trust of the data share. Like I mentioned before, a consumer can scan the QR code and find out the relevant information about the product, which includes its journey from farm to fork, from where this product is processed, from where this raw materials is cultivated, as well as the entire process, the packaging materials that used. So the consumer will be able to know the entire story of the product which is inside the packet without seeing it. So that is where we are actually focused on creating trust among consumers, especially when we are getting into new markets, because they don't know who we are, what we are catering. So this is one method of marketing where we want to ensure customers' confidence in buying the product.
Well, that's certainly, I think, a trend-setting technology that you're participating in. We're seeing that in products, I think, around the world, not only having a QR code to help a end consumer understand where the product came from, but making sure that that information is trusted and leveraging blockchain technologies to provide more trust in that information. Well, I think we've learned a lot today here, Jayan, and really enjoyed learning about SAC Nutria. Two products you have amongst many that are really exciting, both in your large market in India, but I think growing internationally, and really happy to have you on the program today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Future Foodcast. Future Foodcast is powered by Farm to Plate, the leading food blockchain platform. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to stay up to date with the very latest innovations in the food industry.